What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, February 11th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. We have some major breaking news coming in tonight from Gaza. So, apparently, Israel has begun their military operation in Rafah along the border with Egypt, and Egypt has threatened to cancel their 1979 peace treaty with Israel if Israel started this operation, and they just started it tonight. We're hearing that dozens of Israeli strikes are pounding Rafah from land, sea, and air. And we're hearing reports of Israeli Apache helicopters spotted flying around Rafah, and a mosque within the city of Rafah was destroyed by an Israeli airstrike this evening. Okay, it was totally destroyed. What you're looking at here is a picture of this mosque, and Israel claimed that it was being used by Hamas as a command and operations center. So this is going to really inflame the Middle East, especially when this picture comes out tomorrow. All these different jihadist groups are just going to go crazy when they find out that Israel just leveled this mosque. Okay, so things are really spiraling out of control. And a U.S. senior official told Reuters that the U.S. does not support a military operation in Rafah under any circumstances. Okay. And earlier today, Israel moved dozens of Merkava main battle tanks and armored personnel carriers and Puma armored engineering vehicles. So Israel is prepared for a full-scale operation along the Philadelphia axis, okay, which is the border of Gaza and Egypt. So things could really escalate now. Okay, Egypt has threatened Israel not to do this, that this would be a red line. And we're hearing that some of the tribes in the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt are threatening to enter the war now that Israel has started their operation in Rafah. And another U.S. military base was attacked today. The U.S. military base in the Al Omar oil field in eastern Syria was attacked by a drone. And apparently, there's been explosions reported in eastern Baghdad along with gunfire. So I don't know what's going on in Baghdad, but that can't be good. Okay, multiple kabooms and gunfire being reported. And the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has reportedly been rushed to Walter Reed Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, following an emergency bladder issue. And Deputy U.S. Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks has now assumed the powers and duties of the Secretary of Defense. So this is huge news, guys. Lloyd Austin back in the hospital with an emergency bladder issue. Kathleen Hicks taking over. Okay, and the Secretary of Defense has a huge role in our nuclear forces. The Secretary of Defense confirms orders from the president to launch nuclear weapons. So it's critical that we have a Secretary of Defense present and ready at all times 24/7 to confirm orders from the president. Otherwise, if there's some miscommunication, let's say like last time when Lloyd Austin was in the hospital for several days and nobody knew about it, that could cause a problem in terms of launching a counterattack in a nuclear war. It could delay a counterstrike, which could mean that most of our nuclear forces would be destroyed. Okay. And the Iranian foreign minister arrived in Syria earlier today for high-level meetings with several Syrian officials, including President Bashar al-Assad. And the visit comes only days after the Iranian foreign minister also conducted a visit in Lebanon, as well as with meetings with Hezbollah. Okay, so this is very concerning, guys. The Iranian foreign minister meeting with Assad just days after he went to Lebanon and met with Hezbollah leaders as well. Okay, so this is serious. If Assad is meeting with the Iranian foreign minister, it means that they're potentially going to do something to Israel now or American forces in the region. And we know that Erdogan, the president of Turkey, is going to be going to Egypt this Wednesday. Okay. We know that Erdogan does not like Israel. And this is all biblical, guys. We have all these Middle Eastern powers uniting against Israel. The Bible says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and 39, that all these countries I'm talking about will unite against Israel. Okay, Iran, Syria, Turkey, Iraq, Egypt, they're all mentioned by name in the Bible, and they're all going to come against Israel. I'm not saying that this is the Ezekiel 38 and 39 Gog Magog war right now, but it looks like the beginning stages of it. Okay, and we know that Russia backs all these countries. They back Iran, they back Syria. Okay, Russia has bases in Syria right on the border with Israel. Okay, so very serious situation, guys. We have to keep an eye on it. I'm going to keep an eye on it for you, and I will go live 24/7 if anything escalates. And the Syrian foreign minister said that they are ready to fight a war against Israel. He said Syria has fought several wars against the Zionist entity, referring to Israel, and is ready for more wars. Syria will decide when and where. Wow. Okay, so the Syrian foreign minister said this today when he met with the Iranian foreign minister in Damascus. So this is extremely concerning, guys. Okay, that is a serious threat there. Okay, Syria will decide when and where, and they are ready for more wars, and they fought several wars against Israel, so it's not looking too good. And the Houthis have threatened tonight to escalate their military operations in response to the Israeli escalation in Rafah. And the Israeli military conducted a dramatic hostage rescue tonight. Apparently, they rescued 2 hostages that were hiding in an apartment, or actually, they were being hidden in an apartment in Rafah. And apparently, the Shayatet 13 and Shin Bet forces were responsible for this hostage rescue operation, and they were able to exfiltrate with the hostages without being harmed. And apparently, the Israeli Air Force provided air cover for them to get out of that apartment once they got the hostages, because all the apartments around were filled with Hamas terrorists. And the Ukraine aid package in the U.S. Senate has cleared a key procedural vote. So we'll have to wait and see if the Senate passes it. And the secretary of the National Security Council of Ukraine said that the situation on the front line is very difficult right now. And speaking of Ukraine, we currently have a U.S. RQ-4 Global Hawk patrolling the Black Sea. And what's very interesting is that it's been focusing its efforts right over here near Sevastopol. And this was earlier in the evening. And now it is focusing its efforts on the Kerch Bridge area. You can see this boomerang pattern here, and it's focusing right on the Kerch Bridge. So we could potentially see a Ukrainian strike on Crimea in the coming hours, overnight tonight, because this drone is most likely forwarding target information to the Ukrainians for drone strikes or missile strikes. Okay, so very, very interesting. This thing has been up all day, basically. And NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that any attack on NATO countries will face a unified and strong response. Okay, very strong words there from the NATO Secretary General. And this comes right after multiple NATO generals, defense ministers, and intelligence officials have warned that a war with Russia is imminent, and NATO is currently doing a massive exercise in Eastern Europe from Norway all the way down to Moldova and Romania. 90,000 troops participating in this so-called exercise, the largest exercise since 1988. And troops from the 1st Battalion, 2nd Marine Regiment in the U.S. arrived in northern Norway for several weeks of cold weather training. I have a video I want to share with you guys of these U.S. Marines training in the Arctic in Norway. This is very interesting. And they're training for sustained operations, okay? Because if a war were to break out with Russia, most likely Russia would try to invade the northern part of Scandinavia because there's not a lot of defenses up there, okay? And Adam Schiff said today on MSNBC that Putin may try interfering in the 2024 election. And there was a shooting at one of Joel Osteen's churches today in Lakewood, Texas. We're hearing that one 5-year-old was injured and no reports yet of any other casualties, no deaths reported. So thank God for that. And there was another incident in the Red Sea today, the first incident in a few days. Something happened here in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. No further details have been reported yet. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a limited time sale on their 1-year emergency food supply. They're going to drop the price by $700 for this week only. The sale expires February the 11th, 2024. This 1-year emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It's all contained within 24 rugged water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $700 off. To get the deal, go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. They're also doing a discount on the Alexa Pure Pro Water Filtration System. They're doing an $80 discount. Normally the price is $280. They've dropped it down to $200. And this water filtration system filters out bacteria, heavy metals, chemicals, various types of pesticides and agricultural byproducts. And the best thing is that it does not need electricity to work. It's powered by gravity, so you can take this with you anywhere if you're going camping, if you're bugging out, if you lose power at home, okay? Or you could use this every day just for everyday use to purify your well water rather than installing a special treatment system that could cost thousands, okay? So to get the deals, go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. $80 off the Alexa Pure Pro Water Filtration System and $700 off the My Patriot Supply 1-year emergency food supply. Guys, if you buy this thing, you're pretty much set for any scenario. Now, they also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival items. They have a wide variety. To get to their general store, when you go to preparewithnyprepper.com, you click on the top of the page, the logo here, My Patriot Supply. Click that logo, and it'll take you to their general store, and they have everything you need. Okay, so check it out, preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. And Pakistan has put up a maritime warning for live fire training. They're going to be doing missile and gunnery training with live ammunition from February the 15th to the 19th from 0300 to 1300 hours UTC time. Okay, right off the coast of Gwadar, Pakistan, which is very concerning because the last time Pakistan launched a retaliation strike against Iran, they did the same thing. They put out a notice that they were going to do live fire training. And then sure enough, they ended up launching missiles into Iran. Okay, so I don't know if they're going to do that again this time, but thought I would just share this with you. And I want to just share this video of the U.S. Marines training in northern Norway. I'm going to just share a little bit, And then at the end of the video, I'll play the whole thing so you can see exactly what they're doing. But here we have a clip of one of the platoon leaders speaking about what they're doing here. So let's listen to what he has to say.
So we're in Sedermo, Norway, and right now 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines is conducting cold weather training in preparation for exercise Nordic Response, which is part of the Steadfast Defender NATO exercise. Now we are transitioned from that kind of classroom and practical application to a longer duration field exercise where the Marines have to take all those individual and small unit tasks that they learned and then actually sustain operations over a longer period of time. We have a large number of Marines who have never been in the snow in their life before. So to take a Marine that this is the first time seeing snow and then end up having them on skis, able to move around on skis, is a very large but rapid learning curve. And I think that's one of the things that we see with our Marines and sailors in this training is how rapid they can gain skills to meet a level of proficiency necessary to execute operations. But like anything, it just takes practice. You got to take that feeling of unknown and uncertainty with a new skill, and you just got to attack it head on, as the Marines have done, and just grow in that proficiency through the repetition. So during exercise Nordic Response, our battalion will be part of a larger Marine Air Ground Task Force that will be operating under 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force and fighting alongside a Norwegian division and a Swedish and Finnish division in the ability to conduct offensive and defensive multinational operations.
Wow, so it looks like you're going to have a Marine division, a Norwegian division, and a Swedish division all working together in the northern part of Scandinavia. That's huge, guys. It sounds like a permanent deployment. So that is huge, guys.
So far with the United States Marine Corps, we have done small unit exchange from everything from heavy weapons to winter training. And Nordic Response, we will move our units up to Finnmark and train in a harsh Arctic environment, battalion by battalion, side by side, and confirm that we in a multinational joint environment can solve difficult operations in difficult climate. Being in Finnmark in harsh temperatures, cold temperatures, lots of snow, very difficult to operate. That will enable us to operate anywhere in the world. It could be a desert, it could be in tropical areas, but the Arctic climate prepares you for most environments on the planet.
So I'll play the rest of the video at the end of this update. If you want to see some of the actual training, it's pretty cool. And we have some reports that Russia has a 30-kilometer long train parked in eastern Ukraine in the Donetsk area. And there's many theories as to what this train is for, but it's 30 kilometers long, and many experts are saying that this is basically like a makeshift fortification that the Russians have set up. They basically chained together like thousands of rail cars and probably filled them with sand or something, and then just parked them here, and basically just forming like a giant obstacle if the Ukrainians were to try to push eastward. And we also have a minor to moderate geomagnetic storm watch in effect for tomorrow through Wednesday. So keep an eye to the skies if you live in the northern part of the United States. You might see an aurora over some of the Midwestern states from New York to Idaho. Okay, so if you have a clear sky, you don't have a lot of light pollution, look to the north shortly after sunrise. That's the best time to see an aurora. But this was because of that M9 class solar flare yesterday, which is just shy of an X class flare. And there were multiple CMEs reported over the weekend. So that's the latest breaking news that I have, guys. I will be back tomorrow. And I want to just leave you with this video of the Marines training in northern Norway. And I hope you guys are enjoying your Super Bowl Sunday. Very suspenseful game so far. So have a good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with more breaking news. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.
Fish, you got your compass? All right. $151. If we take any longer than, say, 30 minutes.
One, two, three! One, two, three, four! One, two, three! Enemy fire team, push to the open! To the open! 100 meters! One every three! One every three! 8! 1! 7! First team, get up here! Let's fight security! Hurry up!
And you can't move either. You know how it is. Yeah. Yep. Perfect. That's a big hole. I did it. This is mine. Did somebody leave it open? Who was it?
We're gonna have to do the diesel first. Tim, we're gonna do diesel first.
They'll come down because they're going to come.
Out of the area?
We'll be down here, but we're just doing this fly and then we're pushing out. So
Yeah, I get it.
we're unloading MREs in the truck right now, and then.